Here we are. I wish it could be more.
Grandpa, do I have to stay here?
Why? What's wrong?
This place looks spooky.
It's not so bad. We got a nice bed over here. And I promise there are no monsters under the bed or in the closet.
Why would you say that? Now that's all I'm gonna think about. Is there no other bedroom I could stay in?
Not unless you want to stay with me.
Why do you live in this old spooky house anyway?
What are you talking about? I grew up here.
Well, this place needs some work.
Well, I haven't had children in this house for a long time.
You don't say.
Well, and maybe we could tidy it up a little and make it more homey for you.
Grandpa?
Yes?
How long do you think I'll have to stay here?
Well, just until your parents get things sorted out.
Grandpa?
Uh-huh.
Why do you think this is all my fault?
No, how could it possibly be your fault?
Do you think they still love me?
Oh, sweetie, of course they do. Why would you even think that?
It's just they've been so busy lately, and now they're making me stay here.
Well, sometimes grown-ups lose sight of what's important, but it doesn't mean that they don't love you.
I just wish there was something I could do.
Come, sit here by me. Let me tell you a story.
This isn't gonna be one of those when I was your age stories, is it?
No. No, but these are some fables that helped me when I went through some tough times. Now maybe they can help you. Let's see. Oh no, the entire book has been rewritten in Hebrew. Oh wait. Now let's see here. Yeah. The Story of Pyrrhic. The yellow sun has fallen asleep to wait until the dawn. So gather round and hear the sound of a clockmaker once here but since gone. A tale of the tick and tock of the grandest clock, the clockmaker, and a love not long forgot. Heed my words, the clockmaker's story is not his alone. His is a story shared by many around the world. For like others, his story begins with love. The story begins way back, such a long, long time back. Back when the city was still new and a young man named Pyrrhic was finding his way. I will be a master clockmaker, making talks that tick while I walk and talk, ticking to the tune of the sun in the sky, keeping exact time, neither fast nor slow. My clocks will be the best in the business, and people will come from far and wide to hear the click of the ticks and the tocks of my clocks. So he learned, like his father before him, making clocks of gold, taking stock of tiny gears and turning the gears to the paying ears of everyone important in the city. Pyrrhic's clocks were the best on the block, bringing new people into his shop until one fateful day when a lady walked in. A young lady, a truly beautiful lady with rose-colored lips and the warmest of smiles. She found his eyes, and the rest of the story, I'm sure you know. Their love was pure. This isn't a kissing book. Okay, we'll go back to the story. All right. In hardly any time the wedding was had and the two were married. For good and bad, their love still new was the talk of the town. Pyrrhic loved his wife more than she could ever know. Still, he knew he had to show her how grand his love was, and he knew to make clocks. So he decided his love would be made into the face of time, ticking for the beat of his heart, ticking to the movement of his love. The clock for his wife would be the biggest, best, with the loudest bong from the gong at the turn of the hour, ticking, turning ornate clock hands, showing the exact time, and his love for his wife. So he began to assemble the hands, the gears, the color for the face, the detail of his tools to replace the bones of an old clock with love and beauty fit for his wife. Every day, Pyrrhic would hammer and tune the tines of the clock, fitting the gears into slots to sing the hour to his sweet lady's ears. Often, his wife would find her way into his workshop to bring Pyrrhic dinner, saying, "I love you to the moon and back." And he would call back from his work, "I love you for all of time." But Pyrrhic soon realized he was working too slowly. He would need to spend night and day crafting his clock. His dreams were filled with new fine-tuning for the pendulum, better fixed to the weight. The clock had to be perfect. The clock was his love for his wife. One day, Pyrrhic found himself in his shop, fumbling through his tools, feeling for a piece to tighten the setting pin on his clock, when he heard a mumble from behind him. A thin, spindly dragon stood tall behind him, leaning over his shoulder, looking on his work. Pyrrhic found his words caught in his throat. The dragon smiled a slippery smile and slinked to stand across from Pyrrhic as smoke spilled from his mouth. With a low, hissing tone, the dragon said, "Well done, Pyrrhic. Your clock is really shaping up. Quite a clock master you have become, probably the best in the land, for I have seen your work, and you should be proud. You have done it. The metal was made by your hand." Pyrrhic felt uneasy, but he said, "Thank you, kind dragon. I am quite happy with the work I have done." The dragon smiled even bigger, showing his snarled teeth, saying, "But it could be better. Now listen, you have done great work, truly, but do you really think your wife will love it? I mean, look, it's not even half done. Probably not even close to a quarter. Truly sad. She will never know how much you care. Unless... No, you probably shouldn't. Are you okay?
Keep going.
with the dragons, it's a spooky. Okay, Pyrrhic. So, Pyrrhic says, "No, what can I do?" "Well, I have heard tales of ancient clockmakers that would put their hearts into their clocks. Give a piece of yourself to the clock, and she will know you love her. And then it might tick to the time of your love for her. But, alas, I must be on my way. Things to do. I hope your issues work out." And with that, the odd little fellow slipped out of the workshop, and Pyrrhic was left with a terrible idea in his mind. So he kept working, and days turned to months, to seasons, to years, until time and love brought the clockmaker a daughter. The sweet girl would often find herself following her father's hands, watching him twist his grand clock into place, his grand sonnery. She was always there, always asking Pyrrhic if he could come and play. But the clock had to be finished. His heart hurt for the little girl he could not play with. So he decided to dedicate a sound for his grand sonnery within his grand clock. A talk was tuned to the alternating ticks, so on the hour the tone of evening would show his family his love. Pyrrhic had to add another piece of his heart to the clock. As years continued, his hands grew calloused, his workshop messied, and the clock still in progress, until time brought the clockmaker and his wife another child. A son for the family, a son to carry on the legacy Pyrrhic had established. But the clockmaker was older, well grown in years, and had lost some strength in his ears. The tick and the tock had grown fainter, and the work of his clock was difficult. One day his son found his way into the workshop, and he asked, "Daddy, will you give me a sound in the clock so I can know you love me?" Pyrrhic loved his son, but his heart had only one piece left. But the clock was worthy. The clock was his life, so he likened the sound to the love for his son, the loudest sound the clock could make. So all across town the people would hear the chime of the hour, the love of his son. Pyrrhic was tired. For years he had given himself to the clock, given himself to the showing of his love. But he had since forgotten why he was building the clock. He forgot his wife. He forgot his daughter. He forgot his son. He could only remember the clock, the grandest clock, to show something. But his clock could always be bigger, grander, more beautiful for everyone to see. In time, his family would go looking for him. His workshop, now part of the clock itself, was a mess with gears and weights and strings and hands waiting to be pieced into the unending creation. Pyrrhic stood in the corner, hammering the housing of the gears. His face, long and blank, he seemed alone and tired, but his arms swung and swung because it was all he knew how to do. His family called to him, "Pyrrhic, don't you think you have built enough? Don't you think the clock is done? Please stop! We miss your love! Pyrrhic, don't you still love us?" He paused, looked at the people in his clock, and pondered what they were doing here. He turned back to his clock and continued working. There was more to be done. A long time later, a long time, and Pyrrhic finished the clock. But it never ticked, never talked or chimed, because he had forgotten all about love. He had forgotten about it all and was left in his clock alone for a very long time.
Wait, is that how it ends?
Well, yes, it's a fable, not a fairy tale. It's meant to teach a lesson in morality. You're supposed to get something from it.
All I know is that
Pyrrhic.
the clockmaker should have listened to the dragon. He should have put his heart into those he loved instead of some dumb clock. Wait, does that mean my dad will forever be lost? Like Pyrrhic is lost in the clock without his heart?
No. Because that doesn't have to be the end of the story. Like Pyrrhic, we can lose sight of what's really important. Jesus said that if we love God and we love other people, those are the two most important things.